everyone. This is Alana. I'm going to try to do a quick tutorial on how to use Canva and how to use Google Forms to create an escape room kind of activity for your students. In this one, I'll just show you a little bit about Canva. It's pretty simple. So right now I'm on the Canva website. It's just canva.com. I've used it for a lot of different things. Like you can see here, I made a picture of my family when we all dressed up as Bob's Burgers for my birthday. I also used it to make like this spell your name exercise thing, Instagram posts, things like that. So usually to make the graphics for the escape room, I just open up like honestly any old thing. Apparently it's going to take a second here. I also should say that I am by no means an expert on Canva or anything tech related, to be honest, so I really only know the basics, but that's kind of all you need for this sort of thing. So if you have any questions, I will try to answer them, and apologies in advance if I say anything wrong, but I'm hoping to just show you a couple quick things. So to do some like basic graphics that I did for the escape room, I used elements off on the side here, and you can kind of type in anything and just see what comes up. So for example, I typed in lock for that. A lot of these elements are paid versions, so you would need to pay for Canva Professional to use them, or sometimes I think you can pay like, this has watermarks on it now. I think sometimes you can pay like $1. If you click remove watermarks, you can get a whole Canva Pro package, or you could just pay $1 for this image, for example. So I have done that in the past if there's something I really want. But there's a bunch of free ones too. So like this one that I used in my escape room is free. Pretty simple. And then for some things like this, you can change the colors, some you can't. This one you can, which you can tell because when I click on it, the two colors are up here. So let's say I wanted to change the silver part. I can change it to any of these colors or click in this color changing box. So let's say I want to make that blue. And then I click out, and let's say I want to change the goldish yellow color. I'll make that a darker blue. So pretty easy. You can make that lock any colors you want. And then for this lock, I added text. So I don't honestly totally understand the difference between like headings and all those things. There's also these like cool font combinations that they're sort of laid out for you already. So you can do that, like this happy birthday one. I just clicked. So theoretically, you could resize this. And use it and like, change what this says, like lock, escape room, and then whatever, you could resize them. I don't use them that much for student stuff. I use them when I'm making like pretty things for friends, but usually when I'm doing stuff for students, I just use like a simple font. So for this one, I always make sure when I'm working with my students, like this like fancy A, I try to find a font that doesn't have that fancy A. So the one I used the other day was, like this one has Glacial Indifference, has like the regular kind of A. So I like that for my students better. So let's say I was just doing this lock. So I'm just retyping in here. And then I could change the color of this font. I can reposition this. Okay, so pretty easy. So those are the main kinds of things I use. I'll just show you some other elements just to give you a quick peek. So like, let's say, when I made that like messy room, I was just literally typing in like unicorns. So these all look paid actually. This one's free, but it's moving. I don't really know what happens with moving ones. I don't know where that free unicorn went that I used before. But all right, so there's no free unicorn here right now. Let's say I wanted to do scissor when I'm like teaching kids about scissors. There's not a lot of free things going on here right now. I wonder why. It's weird. Like sometimes I'll type something in and there's a ton, and sometimes not. I feel like I just saw one. Let's try one more. Pencil. All right, so here's a free one. So I might want to use that for something. So you'll notice like this one this one has the color changing option. This one, there might be a way to do this, but this one, I don't see those colors up here where they were before for the lock, so I'm assuming you can't change the color of this. That's fine, I wouldn't really want to, but so maybe I would want to use that for something. I can do some kind of, you know, count the pencils or whatever. So just to show you how to save this really quick. So once I have a design I'm happy with, I go over here on the top right, and I click on this little down arrow, and then I'm clicking download. I usually download it as, I guess this is a JPEG or a JPG. And if you have, what you can do is, like, sometimes I keep adding new pages if I'm working on one project. I'll add, and then I'll work on like another lock over here. And then you can, when you download, just make sure you don't need to download all the pages if you don't need them all at one time. So for this, I'm just downloading the first page where the lock is. Then I download it. This is trying to get me to buy Canva. And there you go. I don't know if you can see it because of the way I'm recording my screen, but I just download it, and then I can sort of, in preview on my Mac, I can crop it if I need to, and then it's saved and I can use it. So let me know if this was helpful, if you have any questions. My email is, actually you can use accesspointphiladelphia@gmail.com. And let me know if it was helpful. I would love to hear if it was, and if you have any questions. And I think that's it. I'll also do a little tutorial about how to make a Google Form escape room, which will be slightly more complicated. But no worries, we'll figure it out.